Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Vibrant You. Today, we are talking about the 8 key pillars to creating epic health. So, if you are someone that you're always looking to improve and optimize your health in all levels, this episode is for you. We are going to be getting into the 8 different areas that you can start to look at when optimizing your health. And these 8 pillars are exactly what I use inside of my practice as an integrative health practitioner and mindset and well-being coach to help women create the most epic health that they possibly can for themselves. So we're going to get into these 8 key pillars in a moment. And what I invite you to do as we go through today's episode and as I share these key pillars, I invite you to go through and reflect on each of these different pillars, on which ones are already feeling quite balanced for you. Okay, so I want you to celebrate and own, okay, this area of my health and well-being feels really optimal and I feel really satisfied and fulfilled with that area. And I invite you to reflect on which areas maybe could be improved. Let's see if we can identify what those areas are for you so that those can become perhaps a top priority so that you can optimize and take your health and well-being to the next level. These 8 key pillars of epic health. This is also known as the DESTRESS protocol, which is a methodology that I've learned from my teacher, my mentor, naturopathic and functional medicine doctor, Dr. Stephen Cabral. And he's done a really amazing job of outlining the 8 main areas that we need to look at in order to optimize our health. So I can't take credit for this. This is his amazing work, but I feel really excited to share this with you today as sometimes when we think of health, our mind goes to some obvious places, thinking of diet and exercise, those types of things. However, what I notice with clients is that you can be doing everything right in terms of you're eating all the right foods and you're exercising often and you're still not maybe feeling as well and as vibrant as you might like to. So that's where a lot of these other pillars come in, these more forgotten pillars of our health and well-being to take care of our bodies and minds in the best possible way. So let's get right into it. The DESTRESS protocol, it is an acronym and it stands for these 8 key pillars to epic health. The DESTRESS protocol stands for diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional support, supplements, and success mindset. So that is DESTRESS: diet, exercise, stress, toxins, rest, emotions, supplements, and success mindset. So let's get into all of them one by one and start to feel into which areas feel really balanced for you and which ones you might start to optimize and improve. So the D in the DESTRESS protocol stands for diet. I prefer the word nutrition, right? Not focusing on what you're not eating, but what you are. So of course, when it comes to our nutrition, this is the most obvious pillar, right, of epic health. So focusing on what we're eating. Of course, we want a nutrition plan and our meals and our plate to be of whole foods, ideally organic foods, natural foods, shopping, the outside edges of our grocery store where we're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and we're getting healthy sources of protein and fats, ideally without any extra or unnecessary ingredients, right? So we're not getting a lot of processed foods, a lot of preservatives, those types of things. There's so much debate out there on what is the best nutrition plan, what is the diet plan, and we're going to get into that in another episode. So don't worry, we will come back to that and explore what some of the best diets or nutrition plans are out there and which ones are maybe not as supportive. But the main thing I want you to know here is that, of course, and obviously, our diet and our nutrition is the number one pillar when it comes to our health and well-being. So next, the E in the DESTRESS protocol stands for exercise. So this is, of course, the second most obvious pillar when it comes to our health and well-being. Moving our body. But what I want you to know is that moving our body is not just for our body. We also move our body for so many different reasons, for our mind and our cognition, our focus, our mental performance. Of course, exercise induces endorphins and so many important neurotransmitters that make us feel motivated and focused and present and calm. Of course, we need exercise for a healthy mood, for digestion. Even just the movement in our body stimulates circulation, which stimulates our digestion and supports our nutrient uptake. When it comes to exercise, just like diet, there's so much out there in terms of like, well, what's the best exercise and how often should I be exercising? A lot of these things are bio-individualistic, meaning what might be right for your body might not be right for mine, and vice versa. We all have a unique constitution, we all have unique needs. But the gist of this is that we want to be moving regularly. We want to have some sort of daily movement practice, even if it's just as little as 5 minutes in the morning to get us moving, focusing on a lot of walking, aiming for walking as much as possible in the day. There's a lot of science and research sharing the benefits of 10,000 steps. Some people have like devices and rings and watches and apps to help them measure that. So the basics, of course, are like daily 5-minute movement practice in the morning, walking as much as possible, and adding in things like whatever you enjoy, right? Weight training or Pilates or yoga asana or running, these types of things. So I will as well in another episode share more on exercise and how to exercise and the best exercise protocols and how to exercise best for your body. But we want to know that this is, of course, the second main pillar needed for epic health. Okay, so the third pillar is stress reduction in the de-stress protocol. So stress reduction and sympathetic nervous system regulation. What the heck does that mean? Our nervous system, which governs every system in our body, is made up of two main branches. Our sympathetic nervous system, which is our stress response, and our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest response. They both govern different functions in the body, from putting our body into a stressed state to returning our body to a balanced and homeostatic state. So we all know the impact of stress on the body and the mind. When it comes to the body, of course, stress, whether that's things external in your world, financial stress or family stress or relationship stress, work stress, those types of external things, or whether it's internal stress, things going on inside of our body, pathogens that are keeping our body in a fight or flight state, our immune system in overdrive, as well as just emotional and mental stress. But all of these different types of stress, of course, has an impact on our body and our health. It's too much stress in our body without the possibility of coming back into balance. It can cause things like inflammation, and it has an impact on our immune system, our digestion. When our body is in a state of stress, it shuts down our gastric secretions, which of course leads to bloating and perhaps the allowance of gut pathogens to proliferate and gas and issues with our elimination pathways. It messes with our gut motility. Of course, stress has an impact on our hormones overall, as when we're stressed out, our body's stress hormones, the main one being cortisol, goes through the roof. And when our body's in a stressed state for any period of time and doesn't allow itself to come back to homeostasis, which is a relaxed, balanced state, of course, all of our different hormones are affected. As cortisol, our body's stress hormone that puts the body into fight or flight to manage the very stressor that we're experiencing, steals what's needed for the production of sex hormones and thyroid hormones. So a lot of the sex hormone related issues and period issues and fertility issues, as well as thyroid based issues that we're seeing, really boils down to stress and the overproduction of stress hormones in the body, known as cortisol, which steals what's needed for those other hormones to be produced. So the truth is that our body is designed to experience stress. Stress is not a bad thing. Our body is very well equipped, and that's what's kept us alive as a species since ancient times, right? Is our capacity to experience a stressor, to put our body into fight or flight, to either fight back against the tiger that was chasing us in ancient times or to run away from it, and then for our body to be able to come back into balance and to come back to a relaxed state after the stressor is removed. However, in modern times and just our society that we live in, we're almost always in a perpetual state of stress, of stimulation, of going and doing and achieving, and our body misinterprets a lot of these things that we experience as stress as actual threats and dangers to our safety and well-being. So our job isn't to stop necessarily stress from coming in. Our job is to understand how to manage it and how to support our nervous system to experience the stressor and then to come back to balance. So, of course, things like meditation and counseling and therapy and relaxation practices, managing our lifestyle, trying to minimize stressors as much as possible. This is all going to be really supportive. Okay, number 4 in the de-stress protocol, the T stands for toxin removal. So why is this important? Of course, so many of our bodily functions are designed to work in their own natural way. However, in our modern society, we are exposed to such a level of toxins and chemicals and pollutants through the air that we breathe and the food and the pesticides in the food that we're eating and the water that we're drinking and all of these household chemicals and cosmetics and toxins present in them, that this creates such a burden on our body. Yes, we have natural detox organs that are designed to help eliminate these toxins from the body. However, for 2 main reasons. 1, we're simply exposed to such a level of toxicity that we as human beings have never been before, and that overburdening on our detox organs makes our detoxification pathways less effective. And 2nd, we're not getting the nutrition that our body needs in order for our detox pathways to detoxify properly. So I created an entire episode on this, on detoxification, the importance of it, and how to detoxify the body. So I will link that up in the show notes below if you're interested to learn more. However, the gist of this is that, of course, we need to incorporate detoxification protocols into our lifestyle. So I myself practice quarterly detoxes. So 4 times a year at the change of the seasons, I go through an entire detoxification protocol, as well as I do daily detox rituals to maintain and to support my body's detox pathways to the best of my ability. Things like oil pulling and tongue scraping and dry brushing, all of these things are very supportive. And again, if this sounds like gibberish to you, please check out the episode on toxin removal that I'll link up below, as it's going to be really supportive in helping you to up-level this particular pillar of your well-being. Next, we have rest. So the R in the de-stress protocol is rest. This is parasympathetic nervous system support. So just like we have our sympathetic nervous system, which is our body's stress response, what puts our nervous system into a stress state to be able to fight, flee, or fawn and respond to the stressors of life, we also have this mechanism in our nervous system to turn that stress response off. And that is the parasympathetic state. This is our body's state of rest and digest. So it's in this state that our body heals and digests and repairs the body and brain. So we need rest. Rest is a wonderful and important and essential pillar for our well-being. There's 2 main ways that we can support our rest. Number 1 is sleep. So getting, 8 hours of quality sleep at night and doing whatever protocols we need to up-level our sleep if we are having issues falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up feeling really refreshed and energized the next day, we know that we need to up-level our sleep. And I will do an entire podcast episode on sleep, as this is such a key pillar to our health and well-being and our mental health as well. This is something that I work with clients inside of my integrative health coaching programs on all the time. People with sleep issues and how it's affecting their digestion, their hormones, their mental and cognitive health, and so on. So sleep is number 1 for rest. Number 2 is incorporating non-sleep deep rest protocols. We call these NSDRs, which is things that are active and conscious relaxation practices. Things like restorative yoga or yoga nidra, or simply having a quick 15-minute nap where you don't fully fall asleep, but you're in that nice subconscious dream-like state. As well as, of course, meditation. This is probably the best of the NSDRs, the non-sleep deep rest protocols, is meditation. It's one of the best ways to get that level of rest, to keep our body in that parasympathetic state, which is essential for our body to heal, of course, but also to optimize on all levels. So I will link up as well. I have an amazing guided meditation collection that I've created of several just short and sweet and calming healing meditations that are really supportive. So if you're feeling like this rest piece is maybe one of the pillars that you'd like to work on to optimize your health and well-being in all levels, meditation and perhaps checking out these meditations can be a big support in that. The general rule and our main goal when it comes to rest is that we want to, for a minimum of 15 minutes per day, hang out in this parasympathetic state, that deeply relaxed, really at peace, really easeful state where you're not rushing or doing or going. We're just in that nice, juicy, restful state. Okay, number 6, the E is in the de-stress protocol. The second E is emotions or emotional support. So, of course, taking care of our emotional well-being is a key pillar to, of course, our mental health and well-being, but as well as our physical health. So emotional support, this is things like doing the work that we need to heal from our past, to move through emotions like sadness or anger or pain or grief or trauma. A lot of this emotional support is finding ways and finding the capacity to feel our feelings in a healthy way and reaching out for tools when we need, like counseling and therapy. And this is something that I work with women on inside of my Find Balance program, which is a combination of course, integrative health coaching to support the body and our health in the deepest levels, but knowing that our mental and emotional states deeply contribute to our physical well-being. We also need this piece. We use holistic counseling, somatic healing practices to take care of these emotions so that we can unlock the deepest levels of vibrant health and well-being. So that's emotional support. Number 7 in the de-stress protocol is supplements. So one of the key ways that we can support our health is to balance out what we don't have enough of in the body. So a state of health is simply a state of balance, and dis-ease or lack of health is a state of imbalance, of either having too much or not enough of something. That's the only way that dis-ease can express itself. So if we are experiencing things like nutritional deficiencies or gaps in our diet, working with supplements and a good quality brand and functional medicine supplements to optimize our well-being is going to be an essential pillar. We can use nutritional supplements in a way of having a foundational protocol, such as an activated multivitamin or a daily nutritional support shake powder, bringing in things like a daily fruit and vegetable blend to get in more fruit servings of fruits and vegetables and all the phytochemicals and nutrients involved. These types of things are great, just having an ongoing foundational protocol to just fill in your nutritional gaps. And then in certain chapters of your life, if there's certain areas of your health or well-being that you'd like to support, whether that's your digestive health or your hormonal well-being, whether you're experiencing symptoms or issues with your cognitive health, your sleep, those types of things, your thyroid, then we might put you on a specific protocol for a shorter period of time to rebalance the body and to use things like herbs and vitamins and minerals and omegas and these types of things to rebalance the body at that deepest level. And then finally, number 8, the final piece of the de-stress protocol, the last pillar to creating epic health is success mindset. So, of course, our mindset matters. The first step to achieving anything in our life, including vibrant health, always begins with our mind. Our mind can be our greatest asset. It can also be our greatest obstacle. So starting to look into how we think, right? What our thoughts are throughout the day, where our beliefs might be holding us back. This is such a key pillar in our well-being, as you can be doing everything right. You can be eating the perfect foods and exercising regularly and taking all the perfect supplements, but if we're not taking care of what's happening between our ears in the form of our thoughts, then our healing can't take us too far, as our mind can supersede matter. Right? And our mental, our emotional states can work over our physical protocols and all these different things that we're doing. So the truth is that our thoughts, the things that we think, become our feelings, our emotions. And our feelings become our actions, right? And it's the accumulation of our actions that create the results, right? Where we are in life is an accumulation of our actions and our behaviors, all of which stems from our thoughts. So we start to change our mindset and create a success mindset for ourselves. It all starts with self-awareness, becoming aware of our thoughts, understanding that you are not your thoughts. You are the one that thinks the thoughts, and getting curious and aware and mindful of what you're thinking from moment to moment and seeing how that might be an asset for you, how it might be moving you in the direction that you want to go in your life, whether that is with your health and well-being or in your relationships, in your work, or in your finances. or whether your mind is actually working against you and it's becoming an obstacle to your health, your healing. So, this is what I want to share for today. This is the 8 key pillars to epic health, the de-stress protocol. Again, we had diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional support, supplements, and success mindset. So I would love to hear from you. What are the main areas or these key pillars that you feel are really working well for you in your life right now? And what are the areas that you think would be most supportive to prioritize or to focus on next in your health and healing journey? I would love to hear over on Instagram. Send me a DM, and I will see you back here for another episode real soon. Take care.